This is me in my dream job of being a scientist, and I'm explaining the one skill that guaranteed me to be hired in the middle of my interview. So how did I nail my first ever interview after graduating college? It all starts with the fundamental skill of emotional intelligence. Today, I will be breaking down my 3 actionable steps to improve your EQ and get the job of your dreams. In the lab, or just any job. Firstly, I want to go over how it feels to be in an interview, to be tense, in your own head, thinking about what you're doing and how you're acting. This is the most important problem. Secondly, I will go over what it actually means to read somebody, how you can get information from other people's behaviors and get out of your own head. And thirdly, what to use with this information in order to persuade your interviewer more. Now, why is emotional intelligence important anyway? It's important because as you're sitting down with more and more people in the future, your crystallized intelligence, the knowledge you have in your head, will be less and less valuable as artificial intelligence and other forms of work are no longer required out of you. So, it's most important to have a human connection. A lot of people think that it's your net worth that's important, rather it's your network that sets you apart. So firstly, the biggest restraint on people's ability to perform well in these situations is their inhibitions. It's how they are thinking about themselves instead of the situation. However, when you're looking at your little sibling or somebody you value less, you don't have these problems. You're not constantly in your head thinking. So what's different? It's the hierarchy. You believe they have a value that you don't have yourself. So here's a trick that I have. I imagine all the things I hate about that person in front of me. I imagine how I can brutalize and bully this other person. In my own head, think about how they're old, their hair, their looks, their desires, and brutalize them in your head. This makes it easier to focus less on yourself and to focus more on what you can do to read them more, so that I can devalue them in my head. So, in order to actually read them, you need to be able to understand what features, what human behaviors you may do yourself to appear nervous, weak, and overall a less better hire. This means you have to look deep into their eyes and monitor all of the common nervous tics that people do. Firstly, averting their eyes. When people are constantly looking around and don't want to look at you, they appear nervous. You can use this to make people feel comfortable, or you can use this to push them harder and intimidate. Secondly, sometimes people are just looking around to think. It's important to let people go through their own thoughts, and it's important to appear as though you can consider people's thoughts. So, waiting a minute to respond is always nice. To look around the room and ponder, to question your beliefs. Even though you may already know what you're going to say, it comes across as calming. Something that puts people on edge, though, is to stare into their eyes and look deeply. This is intimidating, and a lot of people, you can tell easily that they don't want you to be there if they're trying to intimidate you. Fourthly, bobbing their leg, bobbing their head, twitching, doing a lot of different motions, appears as though they are nervous, they have uncertainty. General twitching is also a common trait. You see, these are just some things that you can need to be looking out for as you watch the other person. If you're now out of your head in this situation, you can look around and see what makes them look unaware, uncomfortable, and what makes them comfortable. You can take a moment to actually realize what's going on with them and try to change your tone and try to adapt yourself to make them more comfortable and like you more. This leads me to my 3rd most important actionable step, and this is, now that you are calm yourself, you are not constantly thinking about yourself, and you can actually observe what's going on with them, you can now actionably change the tone and pacing of your voice and test where they are weak and where they are strong. This one takes plenty of practice, but if you can manage a long gap of time where they say something, you own all of the power in the conversation and are appearing more secure and certain. In an interview, this allows you to become successful and content. Even if the interview is going poorly, you can just wait, listen, be calm. Sometimes people always want to fill the space, and it comes across as though you are unintelligent and unaware. This advice for interviews does not always guarantee a job if you don't have the technical knowledge. But in order to appear as though you have the technical knowledge, it's important to slow down and answer the questions with certainty, with confidence. It comes across way stronger to dominate the conversation, to let gaps and lulls make the other person uncomfortable and to make you feel more secure. Other people recognize when others are comfortable and it appears as though they understand the situation and they can remain calm. As AI develops, we can no longer stand on just the hard intelligence. So it's more important nowadays to understand your own emotions and to calm yourself down so that the calmest person in the room can go the farthest. Now, think about Steve Jobs. He has very little technical ability, yet he revolutionized Apple using Steve Wozniak, his own technical co-founder. And he just used confidence to actually market and adapt his product. Rather than being the most intelligent in the room, he was the most calm, confident in the room. This allowed him to skyrocket into places no one has ever gone before. So if you use these skills to firstly, calm yourself down, secondly, read the other person, and thirdly, actionably calm your voice and to change their feelings, then you can go farther in life than you think you could. Okay, good luck with your interviews, guys. Love you. Actually, if you enjoyed this video, I hope you guys like and subscribe.